Hello, champs. Hello, lads. How are you? Welcome to Tech Tricks. This is your solution finder. Today, we got a new problem to solve. So, today we are going to use Python to solve the problem. So, let's see what is the problem statement. So, we have two rows in our Excel. In the first row, we have a string, and in the second row, we have a paragraph or a set up a strings. So we have to search the post office in the column B. Wherever it finds the post office, we are going to mark them as matched or partially matched. So if the column B has multiple text or string along with the post office, then we are going to call it as partially matched. If not, we are going to call it as matched if it has a perfect alignment, like the second row, which has money order and money order in both the columns. If it could not find any of the strings, say the popcorn in the bottom, then we are going to call it as new. So let's see how we can achieve this in the Python. So I'll outline the logic here. So the logic would be create the first row into a list and search the list of string in the column B. Wherever it matches, we'll call them as matched or partially matched or new using a for loop. And to find out whether it is exactly matched, I'm going to use a different approach. So I'll just find the length of both the string, and if the length matches, then I'm going to call it as matched or else partially matched or new. So there are multiple techniques that we could do, but I'm choosing this way. Still, I'm in learning phase, so let's go ahead and learn together. I'm using a Spider notebook today to fulfill our requirement. So just a basic drill. So importing all the necessary packages. So here we are going to use pandas and then NumPy, and I have converted the Excel into a data frame since this is a sample data. So we have written it manually. So let's go ahead and run this code to have our necessary package, and the data frame gets created. So when I hit F9, so we have our two data frame. This is the data frame that we are going to search for, and we have another data frame which has to be searched and created a new column over here. So first, let us trim our column. So it's like, say, let's say df and data frame one, and we are going to call in our column name is uh, name, and then we are going to say df again the same column df1 and then name dot str dot okay, straight. So this function just trims the column and then replace the value into the same column. That's it's F9, and it's done. So if you see, there is an extra space that we are given here, and that space should have been removed now. So let's have a comment out this one, removing extra space in the search. So now we are going to convert the specific list into a, sorry, now we are going to convert this column into a list. So let's say let's call it as process list. Pros underscore list equal to convert a list. So we have to use the function to list. So df one, and then we are going to take the name from here, and then we are going to add the function dot to list. So let's run it, and we should be having our first set of list here. So Let's comment this out and say converting df all into a list. So now we have done till this. Now we are going to use our main function called str.extract to get all the match strings and add them as an extra column to our output data frame df2. Let's create a column in the df2. So we are going to call it df and then result. So we could name them as result column. So here comes the function. So what you have to do is we have to take the value that has to be searched. So in this case, we are going to search through the column name. So which is name, uh, and then we are going to call in the string extractor str dot s extra, sorry about the caps, extract, and then we are going to give some rules to it. So under the codes we are going to call, I just want to skip them wherever there is a caps. So just skip the caps. So this is just a basic question mark, and then we are going to give command I. So what this does is it just removes all the capital letters. Say if there is something called P in caps in postmaster or M or order, so this will fix that. So it'll ignore everything and it'll go. So after this, let us create a placeholder for the same. So we need an extra plus placeholder. Sorry, this command has to go out, and then we are going to create a placeholder. So this placeholder is just basically to get the column value into the string extractor. So this is like, let's open parentheses, and then we are going to have a bracket, then add letter number O, close the first set and close the parenthesis. So what now we have informed the extractor is that consider the data frame value wherever there is caps, just ignore them and take the first value for searching the string. So let us bring in our list here. So now we have created a list which has like four values. So let's format that and put it into an or statement. So format, and then the argument that we have to give is and statement. So this would be an and statement, and where we are to, sorry, or statement, where we have to perform our or statement is just join them using process list. So what this format does is just it takes the value here. So the value is now in a row wise. So it will convert them into a R statement for our searching. Let's run this separately so that you will have a clear idea what it does. So let's F9 this one. So now the list that we had in row wise, it's been converted into a single string with the R statement, mentioning that the string has to search for first post office, then money order, then traffic signal through the data frame columns one by one. So let's remove this, and now let's comment it out, creating, creating a column with column searching the required string. So let's run this and see if we get the output. So sorry, wrong data frame. Okay, so now we got it here. So it found a post office inside this new post office name column, and it has said that there is a column here. So now let's get to the our main result. So where we have to say if there is a match case. So here it is partially matching. This is exact full match, and then here also it's partially matching, and then we have no match at all. So let's get to this case and do it. So let's create two more columns. So finding the length, I'm going to use the length logic to do that. So we are going to say df2, and we are going to say name one underscore length underscore length, and put it in the code so that it recognizes as a column equal to, and we are going to call in the value that we need, that we are going to check for name, and then we are going to call in the string function, and under that we are going to call length. So let's run this and see if we get it. So if you notice, there is extra column added. So now we have count how many letters are there in the first column. Let's do the same thing for the result column. So let's copy paste complete stuff and then rename it a little bit, result, and then here is the main thing. So we have to rename this as well to result. So let's run this piece. So now we have created one more column. So now it says post office is 11 character, money order is 11 character, traffic signal is 14 character, and wherever is NA, it's NA. So now we are going to bring in the main function where we are going to find if this matches not. For this, we are going to use numpy and np.var statement. So let's create our final column df2 underscore final underscore result. So you can name it anything. So after this, so we are going to use np dot where. It's just basically your var statement how to use in your SQL. So df2. So we are going to say if the newly created column name underscore length is equal to this column in the length of the result that we derived, then you can call it as exact match. And then we are going to have a false statement. So we have two more cases to explain. So it is a new and a partially matched. So let's add one more np dot where. So under this again, let's copy this over here, and then now so we can do the other way around. So if the result length column np uh, dot is null, is null, then we are going to say as new. Else, this would be our final else. Here we are going to call it as partially matched. Match. So let's, okay, there is a error. Let's see what is the error here. So we have opened the parenthesis and closed it, and then we have one more parenthesis opened here, and it is getting closed here, and it should be good. Let's see. I'm not sure. There should be some error. Yep. So there is a double equal to. So this equal to actually assigns the value, and this equals to double equals to composite. A basic mistake. Let's run it one more time. So let's see. So we have our the final output, which is like partially matched and exact match. And if it couldn't find, then we are calling it as new. So let's drop all our columns that is not required. df2 dot drop. It's always good to clean up all the database data columns that is not required for our final output. Just add these columns in a square bracket and then comma. We don't want these two. We don't want the final receipt column as well. So let's run this. So if we run this, it's just going to say this column is dropped. So to make it updated in the data frame, we have to give one more variable called in place equal to true. So this would replace the database, say like update the database. Okay, let's run this piece of code. So okay, so access is equal to 1 so that it recognizes that he has to drop the column, not the row. Then enter it. Yes, so now our data frame has been reduced. We got all the final result output. So to fix your queries, do send in a mail to me and I'll try to solve your problem. Stay tuned, subscribe, share, and like. Thank you guys.